Good morning, students. I hope you all are doing it very well. So, today let's start with Geography chapter number 3, and the name of the chapter is Our Changing Earth. Okay, let's move forward. Let's discuss the introduction of this chapter or what this chapter wants to say. The movement of plates, it means the movement of plates which are inside the earth or which is below the earth. They causes the changes on the surface of earth. Okay, means there are plates inside the earth surface and their movement or when they move they causes changes on the surface of the earth movement is divided on the basis of force which caused them. So the movement of earth, it is divided on that basis of force which causes them. The earth movement is divided on the basis of force which happens because of it. Okay, third point, the force which act in the interior of the earth. There are forces, basically two types of forces. First, which act in the interior of the earth is known as endogenic force, and it produces earthquake and volcanoes. Second, those force which act or which work on the surface of the earth is known as exogenic force, and it causes weathering and erosion. So students, there are basically two types of forces. First is endogenic, which act inside the earth, and due to this earthquake and volcanoes happen. Second is exogenic force, and due to this weathering and soil erosion happens. The earth crust is relatively is thin and is broken up to series of plates which is fit close together and called lithospheric plates which are constantly moving. So students, the earth crust is very thin and it is divided into or it is broken into smaller series of plates which, and these smaller series of plates are closely fit or they are combined with each other, and these are known as lithospheric plates, and these plates are constantly in motion. Okay, let's move forward. There is massive force inside the earth which causes continent in the ocean to move apart and together again. The force inside the earth is so massive or it is so strong that the continents and ocean either move apart or either move together due to the massive force which is present inside the earth. So the continents and ocean can move apart or together again because of the massive or the strong force which is present inside the earth. The tremendous heat generated inside the core of the earth causes the rocks in the mantle to become molten. There is a heat or there is a huge amount of heat which is present in the core of the earth which causes the rocks to get molted form. Rocks, these are in mantle form, and due to the tremendous or the extra heat generated by the core of earth, rocks become in molten state. And these molten rocks either expand and they push the plates away from each other. Means the rocks which are in molten form, they expand or they enlarges themselves and they push those plates away from each other. When those molten rock cools down, they bring plate together, okay, or near to each other. The above process is known as plate tectonics. What is plate tectonics? When molten rock expand, it push the plates away from each other, and when molten rocks cool down, it brings the plates to near to each other. This process is known as plate tectonics. Okay, so let's move forward. Let's talk about plate movement. First, we'll talk about divergent plate movement. What's this? It happens or it occurs when two plates move away from each other, cracks and gaps are created. What do you mean by divergent plate movement? It happens when two plates they move away from each other, cracks and gap takes place. Okay, or when plates move away or apart from each other, and due to this movement, cracks and gaps are visible or they can be seen. Then it is known as divergent plate movement. Second is convergent plate movement. It occurs when, due to forces of compression, two plates move toward each other and they collide. What is convergent plate movement? It happens when it happens due to compression. Second, and in this, two plates move towards each other and collide. When two plates move towards each other and they collide due to the force of compression, then it is known as convergent plate movement. Okay. Third is transform plate movement. It occurs when two plates slide past each other. A tremendous friction occurs resulting in earthquake. What is transform plate movement? It happens when two plates slide past each other and there is a tremendous or heavy friction generated, and this result in earthquake. Okay. What is transform plate movement? When it occurs when, first point, when two plates slide past each other, means they do not collide, but when they pass in opposite direction, they slide or they nearly touch each other, and due to this there is a huge amount of friction generated and which result in earthquake. Then it is known as transform plate movement. Third, a rift valley is formed when the central block of the land between almost two parallel faults sinks down. When rift valley is formed, it is formed when, first point, central block of land between two almost parallel faults sinks down. Means there is a land, okay, the central part of that land sinks down between two parallel faults. Then it is known as rift valley. Okay, let's move forward. Let's discuss about the volcanoes. It is an opening on the earth crust through which magma comes out to the surface. What does volcano means? It is an opening in the earth crust from where magma comes out on the earth surface. The place from the place which is known as opening of the earth crust from where magma comes out on the earth surface, it is known as volcano. This magma, when reaches the earth surface, it is known as lava, and it passed through, and the passage from which it passed through is known as vent. When magma reaches the earth's surface, then it is known as lava, and the way or the passage through which it passes, it is known as vent. Lava and other materials like ash, cinder and gases are thrown out during the eruption. With lava, there are many other components like ash, cinder and gases. They comes out during the volcanic eruption. Okay. The top of the volcano or the mouth of the volcano is either cup or funnel shaped, which is also known as crater. Means the mouth or the opening of the volcano may be of two shape, either cup or either funnel, and this is known as crater. Volcanic eruption can take place either explosively or quietly. Volcanic eruption can take place in by two ways, either violently or silently. Simple. Let's move forward. Let's talk about the types of volcano. There are three types of volcano. First is active, second is dormant, and third is extinct. First, let's talk about the active volcano. It is one of the volcano which where we can see continuous volcanic activity and eruptions. For example, Mount Etna. Active volcano is that where we can see continuous volcanic activity and eruption. Okay. For example, Mount Etna. What is dormant volcano? It is one. It is that kind of volcano which has not erupted for a longer duration of time, but it can erupt in near future. For example, Mount Fujiyama. What is dormant volcano? It is that volcano which is not erupted for a long time in past, but it can erupt in near future. For example, Mount Fujiyama, extinct volcano. It is that kind of volcano which has no record of eruption in past and will not again erupt in future. For example, Mount Kenya. Most of the volcanoes are located in circular belt around the Pacific Ocean. Most of the volcanoes on the earth, they are located on the circular belt of Pacific Ocean, which is also known as Pacific Ring of Fire. What is Pacific Ring of Fire? Where most of the volcanoes are located in a circular belt in the Pacific Ocean. Okay, let's move forward. Let's talk about the earthquake. An earthquake is a sudden tremor or movement of the earth crust which originates naturally at or below the surface. What do we mean by earthquake? It is a sudden movement of the earth crust which originate either above the earth surface or below the earth surface. Okay, what is earthquake? Earthquake, it is a sudden movement of earth crust, and where it happens either on earth surface or below the earth surface. And what causes the earthquake? The sudden movement of tectonic plates. Earth surface is subjected to endogenic forces occurring from beneath the earth surface. Earth surface is subjected to, or it is dependent on, the endogenic force which occurs below the earth surface. These forces makes plate to move at very slow speed. These endogenic force, it makes plate to move at a very slow speed. However, sometimes there is sudden movement in tectonic plate which triggers or which gives birth to an earthquake. Seismometer or seismograph can help to record earth movement. Okay, let's move forward. What is the focus of earthquake? It is point of origin of earthquake. What is focus? It is a point of origin of earthquake, means the place from where earthquake has originated. The sudden movement occur deep below the earth crust and mantle, causing tectonic plate to move vigorously. During earthquake, there is a sudden movement which occur deep below the crust or mantle, and due to which tectonic plates move very suddenly or very fastly. Concentric shock waves generated from this point determines the extent. There is a shock wave which is generated from this point, or which is generated from focus point of the earthquake, which will tell us the damage caused by the earthquake. Okay, let's move forward. Let's talk about the epicenter. It is a point on the earth's surface which is directly above the focus. It is that point on the earth's surface which is directly above the focus point. The focus point is inside the earth's surface. It is commonly used to describe the point of concentration of an earth. Epicenter is usually used to describe what is the point of concentration or what is the point of generation of the earthquake. The strength and magnitude of an earthquake is measured on a Richter scale. It means the strength, that how much powerful, and the magnitude, what is the level of the earthquake is, it is measured on the Richter scale. An earthquake which measures above 7 on the Richter scale can cause major damage. Nowadays, earthquakes are measured using moment magnitude scale or simply magnitude scale. Nowadays, earthquake is measured using magnitude scale, which measure the size of seismic waves during the earthquake. Magnitude scale is used to measure the earthquake, and which helps to measure the seismic waves or the size of seismic waves which happens during the earthquake. Okay, Let us discuss about the types of earthquake waves. There are basically three types of earthquake waves. First is primary, secondary, and third is surface wave. Let's talk about the surface wave. Discuss it. They are the very first wave to arrive, as they are the fastest waves and they travel at a speed of 6 km per second. They causes very small displacement. What are primary waves? First, these are the first waves to arrive. Second, they are the fastest waves. Third, they travel at a speed of 6 km per second. And fourth, they causes very small displacement. Okay, let's discuss about the secondary waves. They are also known as shake waves, and they are next to arrive after primary waves. Their movement or the travel speed is less, and they are unable to pass via liquid. Let's talk about the secondary wave. They are also known by the name of shake waves, and they are the second to arrive after the primary waves. Their rate of movement or their travel speed is very less, and they are unable to pass via any kind of liquid. Let's discuss the third, the surface waves. These waves are last to arrive and they travel through surface of the earth. They are powerful and cause more damage. Let's talk about the surface waves. They are the last wave to arrive and they travel through or via the surface of the earth, and they can cause much damage, and they are very powerful in nature. Let's move forward. Effects of the earthquake. They causes widespread destruction and damage because due to earthquake, buildings collapse and people may die under it. And due to earthquake, railway lines get buckled and twisted, or railway lines get damaged. Electric wire also get dislocated or separated from their original position, and if live wire is broken down, then it may cause fire. Earthquake also result in the change of course or change in direction of the river flow, and due to which flood may occur. Earthquake may cause landslide, which in turn causes huge damage on the earth surface. Okay, so let's now discuss about the landforms of the earth. The surface of the earth regularly changes. There we can find running water, moving ice, wind flowing, and wave. They constantly down the earth surface, and they carry the broken fragments which are deposited on the low lying area. Okay, let's talk about the gradation. The leveling of the earth surface by a natural or process is known as gradation. Means, what is gradation? It is a natural phenomena or natural process by which the earth surface gets leveled down. Two types of force: internal force and external force. What is internal force? They act from within the earth's surface towards the surface, within the earth towards the. What is internal force? They act from within the earth towards the surface, and external force, they act on the surface of the earth. Internal force, they act on surface, they act within the earth towards the surface, means from inside the earth towards the surface, and external on the surface of the earth. Okay, let's move forward. Degradation and aggradation. The agent of aggradations or by which the aggradation happens, it wears down the land surface and carry away the broken rock fragments, which results in reduction of height of landform. That is known as degradation. When degradation happens, means the agents of gradation which wears down the land surface, and due to which land surface goes down, and they carry the broken rock fragments or the broken rock pieces, and due to this there is a reduction of height of the landform, then it is known as degradation. What do you mean by aggradation? The rock fragment obtained from degradation and are deposited in the low-lying area. The rock fragments which came up with the agents of gradation, and they get deposited in the low-lying areas, and due to which when again and again rock fragments get deposited, there is an increase in height of this low-lying area, and then it is known as aggradation. Gradation involves both degradation and aggradation, and these two processes they work together, which equalizes or which bring equality on the earth's surface. Okay, let's move forward. Weather and erosion. The process of breaking down or decomposition of rocks is called weathering. What is weathering? Breaking down or decomposition or deposition of rocks. It can occur either by physical force, chemical reaction, or by the work of plant and animals. Means the breaking down or decomposition of rocks can happen due to three reasons: physical force or by the human forces, chemical reaction in the weather, or by plant or animals. What is erosion? It is the wearing down of the rocks by agents of gradation, such as erosion means the tearing off of the rocks on the wearing down from the rocks due to agents of gradation like river wind, glacier waves, and it also includes or it also involves transportation of eroded materials from one place to another so that new landforms are formed. Let's discuss what are landforms which are formed by rivers. A river or stream is a body of water flowing down the slope of the land under the force of gravity. What is river? It is a body of water which flows down the slope of land due to gravity or due to the force of gravity. What is river? It is a body of water which flows down on the slope of land or which flows down by the slope of land due to force of gravity. Okay, they are the most important agents of gradation, and these rivers, these are the most important agents of aggradation. Sorry, gradation. The work of river depends on the volume of water it carries and the slope of the river bed. How does river work, or how will river work? There are basically two reasons: the amount of water which it carries and the slope on which it flows. Okay, let's move forward. Many valleys, many things made by river. First is V-shaped valley. It generally seen in hilly or mountain region where river it carries very small amount of water, small volume of water with great erosion power. Means this small amount, this small volume of water has great erosion powers, and due to this there are many landforms is formed. George or I-shaped valley. It is very deep and very narrow or less space valley which is formed due to river eroding vertically via hard rock. How I-shaped valleys form? It forms when a river is flowing vertically via hard rocks. Means here in I-shaped valley, river flowing vertically via hard rock or from hard rocks, and it is very deep and a narrow valley. Okay, what is canyon? A windy steep walked or usually flat bottom valley. You can say a flat bottom valley is known as canyon. What is waterfall? When the slope of water bed drops suddenly, means the slope of water bed means the way from which water bed is flowing, it drops suddenly, and water and due to this water falls from a very great height, then it is known as waterfall. floodplain during rainy season when there is more volume of water, and this extra volume is not to be held by the river, and due to this there is a sudden increase in the volume of water. When it subsides, the sediments left behind, the plains form in such a way. When it subsides or when the river water gets settled down, there are sediments which are left behind. The plain form in such a way means the plain form via first during the rainy season when water is more and river can hold only less amount of water, so there is a sudden increase in water, and after it subsides means when river water goes down there are sediments left behind, then it is known as floodplain. Meanders. The river flows slowly across the floodplain forming broad sweeping curves and loops. There is a river which flows across or which flows via the floodplain, and due to this it forms broad sweeping curves or extra loops, and such kind of loops are known as meanders. Next is Oxbow Lake. What is Oxbow Lake? As the meander becomes wider, meander means when the river flows slowly goes across the floodplain and which forms a loop. Meander means as the loop becomes wider, the end of the loop comes closer, means the end of the loop where it's going to end, it comes very close. The meander cuts off the river forming a cut off lake, and this loop it cut off the river which forms a cut off lake, and that cut is known as Oxbow Lake. What is delta? The deposited sediments may have become an obstacle in the path of river. Means those sediments which are deposited, they may become obstacle on the river path, and this forces the river to split in several channels or several directions, which is known as its tributaries. Okay, the region near the mouth of the river with a network of distribution means a region near to the mouth of river with the distribution network, it is known as delta. Okay, let's move forward. Let's talk about landforms made by glaciers. What are glaciers? They are the large moving masses of ice and snow. This is which we say large moving ice, no? So what are it is a large moving masses of ice and snow. They are also known as river of ice or ice river. They have their origin, means they are originated in ice snowfields and ice caps in the polar region or high mountain region. Glaciers are usually found in polar or high mountain region, and they have their origin or they have get started in snowfields. U-shaped valley. Like river, glacier also breaks and carry away the rock material. The valley formed by a glacier has a steep side and a flat bottom, which resembles the letter U. U-shaped valley. Let's talk about like river. Glacier also breaks and they carry away rock materials with them. Means just as river breaks down, the glaciers also break down and they carry rock materials with them. And the valley formed via this, it is very deep from inside, and the bottom is flat, and it depicts the English letter U. Okay, moraines. When the glacier descends down a valley, or when the glacier goes down from the valley, while going down, it become melt or it start melting because of warmer climate there. The load consistent of clay sand, gravel, and boulders. When they can't be carried any more distance, they are dropped on a particular space, and these deposit, it is known as moraines, landforms by wind. Let's talk about how the landforms are found by wind, or how landforms are made by winds. Let's talk about the mushroom rocks first. These kind of rocks are usually found in desert area, and wind blowing there, it takes the high speed of the wind, it takes sand particles with them. Okay, these particles being heavier, as these particles are heavier, they remain closer to the earth's surface, and when the wind goes from the rocks or via rocks, these sand particles erode the portion of the rock, or they cut the portion of the rock from the surface. Okay, and this give rise to mushroom like shape. Mushroom rock found in desert area. Wind blow at high speed, it takes sand particles with it. Because sand particles are heavier, they remain near to the earth's surface. And when this wind pass through the rocks or along the rocks, those sand particles erodes the rock which is closer to the surface, and after the erosion, the mushroom like shape is formed of the rock. Sand dune, it is a mound of sand formed by the wind, or it is a kind of surface above the land which is formed by the wind. It is usually, or we can generally found it on beach or on a desert. Dunes forms when dune is formed when wind is blow, sand is sheltered, and it is an obstacle. Dunes grow as grains for sand accumulate. Every dune has a wide windward side and a slip place. Okay, very simple. What is sand dune? It is a mound, or it is a kind of, what is sand dunes? It is a kind of mound of sand, or it is a process by which the mound of sand is formed with the help of wind, basically in beach or in a desert. Okay, what are loses? It is a sedimentary deposit of mineral particles which are finer than sand but coarser than dust or clay. What is loses? It is a sedimentary deposit of minerals, and these are very thin or fine in shape but heavier than dust or clay, and it is get deposited by the wind. It is a type of slate which takes place on the very fertile soil on some part of this world, and it is usually deposited, and it is few meters thick, and that soil has a few clay particles which hold that soil together. Okay, let's talk about landforms which are made by sea cliffs. Sea waves are mostly important agent that modify coastal topography. Sea waves means seas waves are, they are most important, as due to this coastal topography faces changes, the vertical wall of rock is formed by the erosion of action of sea waves. Vertical walls, when vertical walls of rock is formed, it is formed due to the erosion activity of the sea waves, and this is known as sea cliffs. Wave cut platform, it is a cliff which is warm away, or which is get sideways, and recedes inland. It leaves behind a flat surface called wave cut platform. When the cliff is worn away, and it leaves behind a flat surface which is known as wave cut platform, or it is cut by the wave. The platform which is cut by the wave cut platform. Caves. If the rocks at the base on a cliff is weak, if the base rock of the cliff is weak, okay, the action of waves scoops out of the holes. So the waves comes out of a hole and which forms the caves. How the cave is formed? If the rock base is of cliff is very weak, means the if the rock base is weak, the waves comes out via holes and which forms caves, stacks, and erosion continues. The roof collapse, leaving only the wall, which is called stack. When the erosion is continued or when erosion does not stop, the roof of that particular land collapses down or falls down, and which result in only walls left behind. When wall is left behind, as the erosion continues and the roof collapse, it is known as stacks. Headlands, the hard rocks are the most resistant and stand out as headlands. Means very important on the head or in the very front. Beach, it is made up of sand, gravel, and pebbles, which is brought by the sea waves from the ocean. Those eroded materials, these are deposited or they are kept by the wave on the coast. Okay, sandbars, when sand and gravel get deposited on the sea floor, when the sand and the gravel mineral it get deposited on the sea floor, which is very far away from any kind of coast, narrow and elongated sandbars, and due to this elongated sandbars are formed. What is sandbars? When sand and gravel it get deposited on the sea floor, which is away from the coast, then it is said to be narrow sand bars is formed. What is lagoon? It is a portion of sea which get enclosed between the sandbar and the coast. The portion of sea or the place of sea which get stuck or which get enclosed in between the sandbar and the coast, then it is known as lagoon. Okay, students. So here comes the end of this chapter. Please read the chapter very carefully and listen to the video very carefully, and after that only you can understand this chapter. It is very easy and simple chapter, so read it again and again and very closely and very easily. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.